Hey YouTube. So Secret Window is based off a short story slash novella by Stephen King called Secret Window, Secret Garden, and it stars Johnny Depp in this adaptation. And it's basically about an author who is going through some tough times. He's going through a divorce where his wife was caught cheating on him, and he's also going through some form of writer's block too on his next book. And things get a little bit weird when a man calling himself John Shooter shows up to the door and says, "Hey, you plagiarized my stories." And Depp's character keeps insisting, "No, I wrote this story before you." But the shooter character becomes more and more aggressive, wanting to have proof of this or to have the story fixed altogether. And that's basically the premise of the movie. It's a character piece. It's not, to me, it's not scary. I mean, there's some thrilling moments. It's more of a drama thriller to me. This is a great movie if you're wanting to get started on King's content. Like if you're like, I'm not into horror, but I'm interested in what this Stephen King guy has to offer, check out Secret Window. Secret Window was one of my first Stephen King movies, and it's a good watch. Johnny Depp is great in it. It's one of his best performances, and it's one of the ones he did shortly after Pirates of the Caribbean, where the craze hadn't quite taken over, and it's kind of cool to see him play a, well, we can call it sort of normal dude, but authors aren't really all that normal. To, you know, just play a human character that's not wearing a whole lot of makeup. You know, he's disheveled, and he is basically just, he's playing a person in this movie that's been through a lot of personal shit. And I love watching movies and reading books about author characters because they often reflect some of the struggles that the screenwriter, or in the case of the book, the writer, has gone through. Like King has been public with the fact that he was once an alcoholic, and that's touched on in a good amount of his books, and it's no exception in Secret Window. That's part of it as well. And I just really love that sort of meta thing, because there are weird things that Depp's character does throughout the movie, and it's like there's parts where he talks to himself. He has voices in his head where when he's trying to work out a story or trying to reason with himself, or there's the whole procrastination thing. Or one of my favorite parts is when he's like looking at this paragraph and he's like, "This paragraph is shit," and then he deletes it and he's like, "Yep, that took care of it." But yeah, it's got some funny parts in it too. It's an all-around well-rounded movie. It's not breaking any super great ground. You might see the twists and turns of the stories coming from miles away, but it's a good watch. It's a decent thriller. It's one of those ones that you can watch maybe once and then revisit later down the road if you want. But again, Secret Window, I would recommend to people who haven't watched Stephen King's work because they're not into the horror aspect. Because to me, King is so much more than a horror author. A lot of my favorite books by him aren't horror. Like The Dark Tower is a great example of, I mean, there's small horror elements, but it's more of a Western science fiction adventure fantasy. And to me, a lot of his best work has been outside of the horror genre. Yeah, he's a terrific horror writer, but his talents just go way beyond that. So, Secret Window, have you seen it? And by the way, John Turturro is also great in this movie. He's super creepy as Shooter. It's like I love how he is just sort of low-key intimidating. He raises his voice from time to time, but it's only like an octave or two. It's not like he's this villain that has to shout. But he's great in the movie. You know, comment below. Let me know what you think of Secret Window. If you've seen it or if you've read the novella. What's your favorite Stephen King book or Stephen King movie? Again, as always, thank you for watching. And if you like what you see here, subscribe, and check out all my other social media. Bye.